Hello and welcome to Conceptual Physics Lab. This is PHY110A for the fall semester at Stanley Community College. My name is Dr. Kristen Walker and I will be teaching this lab section. So just to clarify the difference between PHY110A, this lab course, versus 110, is the PHY110 is just the content, the lecture portion, and that course is worth 3 credits. This is the lab course that's worth 1 credit. So you're not required to take both unless if you have some sort of requirement in your degree where you need 4 credits of science, or if you need a lab science, then you need both 110 and 110A. If you only need 3 credits of science, or if you only need a non-lab science, again depending on what your degree requirements are, then you do not need to be in this lab. As far as prerequisites, you do not need to be enrolled in 110 at the same time. So if for some reason or another, if you've already taken 110 or you just want to do the lab now, it's not required, although it is helpful to take this lab at the same time as the course or to previously have had the course. The purpose of this video is just to give you an overview of the course requirements and to show you how to navigate through Moodle. So first of all, the main, let me just show a quick navigation here. It's the same as 110, so if you're in that, it's the same navigation where all the due dates are here. There is 1 lab per module, and we cover 1 module per week. And all the due dates are Wednesday night by midnight, or 11:55, but by midnight. So you can scroll down to view the labs, or you can click on the link to take you directly to whatever lab that you're looking at. So there's 1 lab per week. There are some requirements, some materials that you'll need for the lab. Since you're not going into the laboratory and completing these experiments, there are some materials that you need. So scroll down, make sure you do netiquette, which you do for every lab or every online course. Get the video. All right, so I'll go to the syllabus, but let me first show the supply list. Make sure you also introduce yourself. If you already have introduced yourself in the 110, just go ahead and copy paste that over. That I'll accept that since it's really the same course, mostly the same people, but I would like for you to post there again. All right, so the supply list, go ahead and take a look at this now. Not every lab, but many of the labs require some equipment. And most of the equipment are common things that you have around your house or things that you can easily obtain from the dollar store. And so nothing majorly expensive. But you want to make sure you get these ahead of time. Again, especially the first 3 labs require materials, other ones do not. So just keep track of that. There are also going to be certain days when you need it. There's at least 2 labs, if I remember correctly, at least 1, maybe 2, where you will need to do something with a sunny day. So you want to pay attention to that. And take a look at the lab as early as possible. Do not wait until Wednesday night. Not having the equipment is not an excuse for completing late work, because late work is not accepted. So you can say, like, I'm sorry I didn't have XYZ. I'm sorry you've had the list from day 1. So make sure you pay attention to that. You know, some of the things like a thermometer, you can go, I know Walmart has thermometers for like $1 or $2, and I'm pretty sure the dollar store has them too. So, so again, if there are things that you do not have, make sure you take advantage and get them now. Get them as soon as possible. So those are the only required materials. There is no required textbook, although if you're in 110 or you've taken 110, the textbook is helpful at times. We take a look at the syllabus. As far as contacting me, as I mentioned in the 110 video, this is the only course I teach for Stanley, and I teach it online remotely. I do not currently live in North Carolina. I'm actually in South Carolina. So I don't have an office space. I don't have face-to-face office hours, but feel free to email me anytime, and you can also call me at my office number there. All right, so let's take a look here. And you can see that the grade is based on the lab. So every lab is 30 points. There are 15 labs, 15 modules, and then there's going to be a final lab, which is based on some new tutorials that are just for that final, and that's 50 points. And then divide your total points by 5. You can also view your grades on Moodle. And here you can see all the due dates. So notice that there is a fall break, and around Thanksgiving, I give you a week and a half, so some of the due dates are on Friday instead of Wednesday. All right, so as far as the labs, there are an assortment of labs. Let's take a look at this first one. So for every lab, you're going to have instructions. Most of them are in, I guess most of them just have HTML. I think this is the only one that has your PDF. So you have your instructions here. You go through all of them. And then for every lab, there is a report. So you go to the report here, and it is a Word document. And when you pull this up, what happens is you want to enable your editing, and this is where you're going to basically submit your work. I expect to see your work in this lab report document. So you fill in your data, you answer the questions here, make sure you put your name on it, and then you save this document. A comment about working with other people. You are welcome, if you happen to know someone else in your class, you're welcome to work with them. Just make sure you clearly mark that your name and then anyone else that you've worked with. And again, if you work with someone, I expect your data to be the same and like something like calculations, but any answers should be in your own words. I should not see identical answers for that because it needs to be your own word with that. So once you've saved that document, then you want to go to the assignment is where you submit it. So you go here, you do your add submission, and you can drag your file or you can browse and find your file there. Okay. So again, this first lab will require something that moves at a constant velocity. So it could be one of those little pullback cars, toys. If you don't have something like that, or even just a toy car without the pullback, you can really roll anything at a constant velocity. So you can just even take a marker and roll it across, or a ball. But ideally, it'd be nice if it were something motorized if you have it. If not, don't worry about it, as long as it's something moving at a constant velocity that you're going to be measuring. You will be creating a graph. If you know how to use Excel and to do graph on there, you're more than welcome to do that. But here's a fairly easy to use website where, I know it says Kid Zone, but you can actually create a line graph. You can put your data in here. So you want to do a line graph. You have your data. You put your data values. Sorry, actually, I think you're going to need the XY. Yeah, because you go to data. Yeah, this is what you want. You want your XY, because X is going to be time and Y is going to be your position. And then eventually you can preview it. This is where you can change labels, but this is how you're going to create a graph, okay? You're going to do position on the Y versus time on the X. Make sure for all labs, for anything that you're putting in data, put units. Especially if you're talking about temperature, is it Celsius, is it degrees? When you're doing your position, are you measuring in meters or centimeters or inches? So make sure that you include all units, because otherwise the numbers are meaningless. Also want to possibly use standard units, meters, centimeters, use the metric system. So again, go through them. Some of these will have tutorials. So I think this is one. Yeah, here's a tutorial, and you'll link there, and it'll bring up a website. Again, this is another reason why, even if you don't have time to do the lab immediately at the beginning of the week, at least take a look at it. Make sure that, as soon as you submit one lab, say you submit lab 5, go ahead and scan through lab 6 and see, does the website work that you may need? Do you have the materials that you need? That way you have plenty of time to let me know if there's any issues. Especially if it's something with the website, I can try to give you some other options or some suggestions. Maybe you can try it on a different computer. So those are some things to keep in mind. And then you submit it. the work is due on Wednesday, and I'll usually try to get it graded by the end of the week. Definitely within the week is what I plan to do the grading, because you won't see grading automatically. It's something I need to go through and grade it for you. And they should, over here on the left, it might be not showing on my screen, but you should be able to view your grades. Yeah, here you go. If you submit your grades, you should be able to see the grade book. Okay, so that's the lab. Again, 1 lab per week. Late work is not accepted unless there's some emergency, if it's something medical related or even in your family medical related, family emergencies. Just communicate with me and let me know. Okay? Well, have a great semester, and I'll keep in touch.